Hi guys, welcome to question 5 on the 2023 paper. Sponsors, just give them a tick. They're mentioned, Grace Hockey Legends, and let's get into it. Question 5. So Femi does a 5-kilometer run each week. The table shows for 10 weeks the time taken for each run and her average heart rate during each run. The scatter diagram shows H against T for the first 8 weeks. Complete the diagram by plotting the points for the final 2 weeks. So we've got 24.7 and 124. There we are, just 2 small squares past the halfway point between 24 and 25, and that goes to 124. And then we've got 22.6 and 131. There we are. So those 2 points. That's nice for 1 mark. Okay. Calculate the equation of the regression line of H onto T. So because, and I spoke to a pupil about this earlier today, T is our x-axis, so put the T values in first and then pop in the H values, and we'll want it as H equals. So that'll be the format we want. So put it into your calculator. I've got a CG50, but I've seen how the new class quizzes work as well, and they're pretty good. We should get 187.6 take away 2.47t. Now do remember, put your t values in first, because if it's in the format of y equals mx plus c, you'd want your x values as the input and the y values as the output. Okay, it then says draw a regression line onto the scatter diagram. I just want to check I've done my one. Yeah, so I've used t equals 20, and I used t equals 25 to get my values for h, and at t equals 20 I got 138.2, and for t equals 25 I got 125.85. So we just need to plot them on there. 125.85 is in there. In fact, I'm going to use a different color. 12585 goes to there. T is 20, we get to 138.2. In fact, I have to check my answers for the other one. I'm just going to check my answer for that first bit. 124, 131. So that's wrong, the 131. I'm glad I spotted that. So because, what do we have? 22.6, which is just after there. And then 131 is in the middle of this. Okay, 22.6, 131, happy with that. And then the other one, 22.6, no, 24.7 at 124, that's on the line, so that's okay. Sorry, because of the scaling of the graph, so we've got to be careful with that. Going back to this, yeah, 138, the next line would be 138.4, so I'm happy with that position. Always got to be mindful of scale. A bit worried I sound like I'm bumbling, but it is sort of important thoughts that you have to have while you're doing your work. I've gone into a purple line, that's not what I wanted, but it's okay. Perhaps if I select it. Can I select that line? Of course I can't. Technology, hey? But there it is, that's the regression line drawn. I'm happy with that. Estimate her heart rate during a run. So it says the next week, Femi takes 20.5 minutes to do the 5K run. Estimate the heart rate. So 20.5 is just in here. It's actually smack bang in the middle. I really like that. So I'm going with 137. The mark scheme will have a boundary. If I'm outside of the mark scheme, I apologise, but it's because I'm drawing on that Surface Pro, which is a regular excuse that I have. So 137 for that. Let's write that there. And they'll want to see the lines. So they'll want to see you drawing some lines up and down from the axes with a ruler. That was just a quick sketch. Explain why your estimate is unlikely to be reliable. So all of the data falls, let me change, I'm definitely changing pen color for this, within here, and then we're looking at a point that's out here, which is outside of our data set. So the answer or the solution involves extrapolation, and therefore it may be an unreliable result. Okay, that's it. Question 5 is done. I look forward to seeing you at question 6.